Oh yeah, that's right. I stopped examining the dead body in order to go eat. So now I need to go back to examining the dead body. Ooh, that's just great.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. On his chest, a fading web of tattoos. The cargo belt used to hang him from the tree looks reinforced.
Inspect
The
the belt.
hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under six-rotor airships.
Wow. Don't ask me how I know, but this is a lashing belt used for airlifting cargo.
Airlifting? I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them.
Apparently, this is the reinforced kind for air transport. My brain tells me so. Then again, what do I know? I don't even know what an airship is.
The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
Assuming the dock workers from the harbor did it, they sure wanted him to stay up there. The rope is reinforced with steel wiring. Well, that's why he's still up there, though honestly, I'm kind of surprised the body survived a full week out. Oh, you can see the little fly buzzing around him. That's lovely. How did they even get them up there? Back off and look at the corpse. Assuming.
I'm still approaching this as a lynching, yes. Motivated by the ongoing strike. You?
He politely raised his eyebrow. Makes sense. Believably mundane.
70% of the cases I get are just filling in the blanks on the initial report. This belt worries me.
They sure wanted him to stay up there. The rope is reinforced with steel wiring.
I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed.
We do have the wire cutters. How did they even get him up there?
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around.
He points to the buckle tying the belt to the branch above. I don't actually know how, like, the mechanics of setting up a noose, but if you say so. Oh, I guess it makes sense because the weight would make it harder to untie it because the weight's holding it down. Did they climb up using the kid's ladder? Point to the one at the side of the tree.
That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
He makes a pulling motion. Okay, that makes sense.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory. The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos.
Inspect the tattoos.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
Is this a map of the night sky? Is this a microelectric system? Is this a national pattern? Stars. Lines with stars toward the meat. Microelectric system?
I have only a cursive knowledge of the science of cybernetics. I would not know if it were. But it's not quite complex enough, is it?
True.
It doesn't seem familiar from the insides of any radio computer your mind can imagine. The somewhat organic lines remind you of old filament memory units, but not quite. No, you're nowhere near right.
Lines crossing, forming asterisks. It almost reminds me of like the idea of like ley lines, and then like where they cross are like points of power or something. Roads, and they cross at major cities. Because they're somewhat organic, so like maybe could it be a map? Missing something.
So am I.
A sudden ringing fills the air as the lieutenant pulls down the zipper of his orange jacket. Ooh, that's something there.
He wears a wide leather belt around his waist and a gun holster under his arm. He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
He has a camera. That's cool. Maybe we can send it to a tattoo expert or something? What's that?
A Trigger Sunshine. Mini.
That didn't help at all.
Triggered is the world's leading manufacturer of intercommunication devices, primarily projectors. The camera before you looks familiar somehow.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
Oh, I forgot about them.
An instant color camera.
He produces two metal-capped ampoules and clicks them into place on the side of the apparatus. A thin slot shines there.
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
He points the camera at the corpse, peering into it. The lens needs adjusting. Then
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
cool.
In case we need it.
The lieutenant says and shakes the paper, letting it dry in the cold wind. On it, a color-perfect copy of the dead man's tattooed chest. Cool machine.
Yes. It is pretty cool, isn't it?
He slides the camera closed and tucks it away on his belt. Probably really useful for police work too, because I'm guessing these aren't, I'm guessing cameras aren't super common, just based on the general situation. So they might not be standard issues for police officers yet. So having one is for this sort of situation is probably really useful.
There is only one ampoule left. Use it wisely.
What else are we gonna need to take a picture of? What do we need this photo for?
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter. To us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
Can I have it? I should look at it later without the corpse smell.
Sure. Just don't lose it.
He hands you the piece of rolled up photo paper. It's no larger than a pack of cigarettes. I can't. Oh, at this point I have 2 skill points I can spend on something. I don't know what is important though. I should spend them on.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms.
Ew.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
Interact. Lieutenant Kitsuragi snapped this photo of the hangman's tattoos. It displays the intricate web of blue lines stretching across his torso. You have to admit, it looks quite cool. Oh, yeah. It almost looks like a picture of a city or something.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. On his chest, a fading web of tattoos. The cargo belt used to hang him from the tree looks reinforced.
Look him in the eye.
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
Tell me, who are you, dead man?
The corpse is dead silent. You have no idea why you just said that.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, is it starting to rain? It was just snowing, wasn't it? Oh, it's
Who is
raining.
he? He is male, 40 to 50, with an athletic build.
I don't think that's what main character dude
The
was hoping to
corpse
get.
looks right through you as you distance yourself from its stench. Eyes like a shark.
Squint and Tego step back.
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink.
Green.
This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the discoloration?
Oh, cool. Observe.
Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
His face and hands are pink. Eyes too.
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
Very vivid descriptions here.
So, what do you think?
I think he's dead. I think he was upright after death. His hands, feet, and neck are discolored. Cover your nose. Something is coming out of him. He's beaten up. See the bruises. I think he was upright after death.
Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging.
Yeah. Yep, seems like a lynching to me. Could it still be he was moved after death? Maybe he was strangled by someone? Could it still be he was moved after death?
There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
I think he's dead.
I agree.
His personality is no longer a part of the world.
Thank you.
Totally dead.
Yep. World no longer stores his personality in its composition. There was a time for that, and it ended 7 days ago. No, better not to say that. Too heavy? Totally. This Buster's not coming back. Deadly, dead. What is dead, anyway? The world no longer stores his personality within its composition. There was a time for that, and it ended 7 days ago.
That sounds about right, yes.
Nods in agreement with this advanced piece of conceptualization, having mulled it over, then the lieutenant says, cover your nose, something is coming out of him.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
Wait, it's still dripping? That 7 days, I feel like most of what was gonna drip probably already dripped.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
I'm glad you can determine that.
The fuck he's saying?
For once, Kuno, you're not completely wrong.
Talking about shit.
We got lucky. Maybe he went to the toilet sometime before death. Maybe he went to the toilet sometime before death.
Maybe.
He doesn't really want to dwell on it too long. That's fair. He's beaten up. See the bruises?
I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder with their little sport.
Yeah.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
That one wasn't that hard to figure out.
It means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal like.
Okay, so Kuno is the smarter one of the two. Back off and catch your
But
breath.
there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils. He slowly rotates before you, decomposing.
So, how do we get him down?
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's down.
Step back and have another look for
The
him.
cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue.
Okay, Inland Empire. Any other items that can boost that? Okay, it's just the horrific note tie. Let's stick a weight in it.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. On his chest, a fading web of tattoos. The cargo belt used to hang him from the tree looks reinforced.
Tell me, who are you, dead man?
I'm gone.
Oh, he talks. Where have you gone?
Into the wild pale yonder.
His voice is something. Where's that?
In the past. Way out in the west.
I can see you're gone, but who are you?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
There's nothing funny about you.
There is nothing funny about jokes either.
Who were you when you were alive?
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
I have another question for you.
Go ahead, Cobbo.
What is happening?
What do you mean?
I'm talking to you.
It's the power of your...
Black, frothy liquid starts bubbling on his lips.
imagination. Go ahead. Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions.
Why do I love questions so much?
Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Give me a comical amount of questions.
Coming right up, Copper Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
Is my name Rooney?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
I do strike myself as a Rooney.
No, you don't. Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
Harry? Like Harry Dresden? I guess that works. Why do I feel like I've forgotten something terrible?
Because you have.
Oh, that was quicker than it normally is. Who killed you?
Love did me in, Brother Copo. It was love all along.
Can you ask me a question?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this?
What?
Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes. Standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
I don't have anything else to do. This case is all I have. Because he told me to, nod toward Kim. Maybe this will lead to something indescribable, unforeseen, miraculous. The clown lips on the corpse appear to smile. The face rotates before you slowly.
Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
I hate you. You stink and you're boring.
Do I remind you of someone?
Yourself? Well, myself? Main character, protagonist? Should you call him Harry?
A child born with Muller's disease, harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
Baby expected with harlequinism.
You sure wriggled out of that one? Coppellini. Do I remind...
A child born with Muller's disease.
No, not quite. Sure I do. You just don't want to admit it. Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
The voiceover is different than what it said. You can come back and look into this face anytime you want. View me yourself with my harlequin features. Ask me your little questions. Freshen your memory. Create associations. Remind yourself of your mortality. Apollopo?
Of course. Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
That's great. Okay, so let's do a little bit more talking before we take him down, just in case there's anything else we need.
Fuck does Kuno care?
I want to discuss the body with you again,
The
Kuno.
fuck about it?
Where's the rest of his armor?
Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor.
How come?
Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant.
A mutant?
Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away.
What do you mean you threw it away?
Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big.
He performs a kickoff on the imaginary helmet.
Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno.
You threw it in the sea?
Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate.
What do you mean, troubadour?
Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit. Came around pretending like he cares about cows.
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly smile.
You mean Manana? Call me Manana. What's his name?
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor.
Curious, my liege. Why did Kuno feed you this information?
And you're just telling me this out of the kindness of your heart, Kuno.
Yeah, Kuno's doing charity today. Kuno Day. Kuno feels sorry for you two loser pigs. Kuno's doing pity now.
Still, seems suspicious. He may have it in for that guy. Or you may be paranoid. That is also a possibility, sire.
There are contusions all over his body. Did you do that? A, yes, he obviously did. He's doing it, like, as you're watching him. B, you really think Kuno knows what a contusion is? Let's ask.
Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He grabs his head like it's suddenly hurting.
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
I hate words too. A contusion is a bruise. I'm talking about the marks your stones left on the corpse.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing? This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here.
You hear the lieutenant hum.
You're testing Kuno's patience.
Get lost,
I have more questions about the crime scene.
Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it?
The ladder, ever climb it? Point to the ladder on the tree.
Look at that fucking shit! You're trying to get Kuno killed!
So you would say the ladder is unclimbable?
Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking acrobat.
The lieutenant takes a quick note in his notebook.
It's a trap, Kuno! Don't climb it, Kuno!
What's in the greenhouse over there?
Dunno. Kiptas gardener used to work there.
Is that another slur? Or what?
Kipt is a pejorative term used to describe people of South Seminese or Areopagite descent. It used to be a common first name among the Areopagites of Ilmara. Not so much anymore.
Always helpful when the encyclopedia pops in to go, yep, that is a slur. Hold on, the gardener used to work there?
Yeah, that's what Kuno said. She couldn't handle the heat, so she took off. Kuno can take it. Shit's nothing to Kuno.
He fills his lungs with the rancid air. His eyes get a little watery. You mean the young woman by whirling in rags? That gardener?
Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit.
He looks you in the eye and nods as if agreeing with himself.
Yeah, her. What was she doing in the greenhouse in March anyway? What kind of gardening is done in March?
I mean, isn't part of the point of the greenhouse is that you can do it all year round? I mean, that's how it works in Stardew Valley.
Fish is sometimes used to fertilize the soil a few weeks before planting something. Maybe she was preparing the garden beds.
I should ask her about that.
Yes, it seems suspicious. You don't like things being like that. Suspicious.
Well, and it's a task, and I like tasks. I get experience, and then I can level up then. I was wondering about that trash container.
Don't be wondering about Kuno's shit, pig.
Someone might have stashed something in there. Maybe there's even a lead.
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Why the fuck are you telling this shit to Kuno?
Because there's an option. Kuno, there's a stack of Eternite back there. Point to the shack.
That's just some shit roofing gimps left behind, lazy dinks.
He's hiding something.
Are you hiding something?
Pig, if Kuno was hiding something, It would be hidden.
He says with exaggerated confidence.
But it is not hidden, is it, sire? You picked up on it. You should examine the pile of roofing material again.
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't
Let's go check out this stuff before we can change it.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
Drama said take another look.
Because it's nice and orderly. Well, rhythmic pattern.
I might... stick another point in perception just to... Perception's probably a good thing to
An
like,
inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. Because it's nice and rhythmic pattern.
Okay, fine then. Fine. We're just gonna leave then. Okay. Next step is I want to get into the garbage. So I can either use the pry bar or I can go talk to the cafeteria manager. So I'm gonna go talk to the cafeteria manager, try to get the keys, and maybe also like get any more information maybe. Oh yeah, and I've collected some things, so I need to... Oh my goodness. I just thought it was Sans Undertale. Jacket and bald head and what money you know.
The worker is in a deep slumber.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer.
I'm no Sweetie, look at me.
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin.
At least somebody likes protagonist guy. Thanks, I appreciate it.
You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself.
She slaps herself on the forehead.
I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
Her eyes glitter over the rims of her glasses as she looks up, smiling. You seem to be in a chair. How do you like to roll with me? I don't know if you noticed, but I don't know where I am or what I'm doing or anything. Sweeties needs money. Do sweeties get money?
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
I hope you're right. I hope it's not too bad.
You know where we are, right?
We're dead, haunting each other. We're ghosts. A war zone at the edge of the world.
That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located?
In hell, we're all in hell.
We're in the city of Revachol, dear.
She flashes you a worried look. Okay, I won't. Revachol is the disgraced capital of the world, something like that?
Yes, great. See? We're getting somewhere. What else do you know about our city of splendor? Tattered as she may be.
Honestly, I don't know diddly squat about Revachol. What kind of place is this?
How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I.
I like her.
I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days.
There's a pause as she studies your expression. You must look quite lost.
Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
It's the spring of 51.
That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Ooh, got a pen.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you then, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
Some kind of democracy, maybe? I'd like to think it's the dictatorship of the Proletariat, but something tells me it's not. Our leaders are fierce warriors who traverse this plains and steeds. Civilization cowers before us. We're governed by intelligent machines that perform calculations to determine the freest market. Everyone hustles and grinds like a visionary. Radios are being used to control people's minds and distort our perception of reality, concealing our true masters, foreigners and women. Cop. We're living under the cop regime. It sounded like the, okay, so it was a monarchy, and then it was taken over by communists, and then outside powers came in and took over and put in place the emergency acts, which are the octopus things. They also give the cops the power, but we're controlled by outside forces, I think. Some kind of democracy, maybe?
Nope. Sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is market-driven.
Okay, that's what I was pretty sure was going on.
Meaning, buying is voting.
If there's no government, how come there are cops? Because of the Emergency Act that put the cops in place?
Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution.
But the RCM, these guys are cops.
But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
So how did I do?
You were doing quite well up until the end there. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
What is the revolution you mentioned?
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago.
Yeah, because it was taken over by communists and they tried to build some sort of communist country or whatever, and everybody else didn't like that. But I'm a cop. Whatever it was hasn't stopped me.
Of course, sweetie. I really don't know how to explain it better.
You could tell me more.
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
She turns to the lieutenant.
No. I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Well, I have an encyclopedia in my brain.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
Oh, Joyce.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
You seem to be in a chair.
Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic? is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or a grenade explosion.
A grenade? Did you fight in a war?
No, dear. I'm not quite that old. Although I was injured in the line of duty.
Were you a mountaineer? A tightrope walker? I feel like I was in a war. Mountaineer.
Nothing so glamorous, dear. Though when I was young, I dreamt of planting the Revacholian flag on some figurative peak.
What did you do then?
I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail order shoe company. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and, well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays.
She runs her hands over the chrome wheels of her chair. I'm sorry, it was rude of me to mention the wheelchair. Let's move on.
That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway.
How do you like to roll with me?
Whatever do you mean?
I want you to be my wheelchaired partner in fighting crime, ridding backyards of corpses, catching sequence killers.
Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
We can have 2 partners.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
I know, but there are also side mysteries, sequence killers, and forays into the paranatural.
I can assure you, with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie.
Why? 3 heads are better than 2. Yeah, she probably knows some different stuff than what we know.
Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down.
Can we carry you? I want you to be able to go adventuring with us too.
Perhaps another time.
She turns back to you with a hopeful glint in her eyes. Sweetie needs money. Do sweeties get money?
Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck?
What is a paycheck? I haven't seen any paychecks.
You must be joking. Although our pay does sometimes feel like a joke.
It's not easy to assert your right to a decent living wage when you don't have a strong union behind you. Maybe you should talk to Everard, the union leader.
Interesting idea. This Everard sounds powerful. Maybe you can wrangle some coins out of his pocket.
I don't want to.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry I don't have money for you. If there's anything... Of course, dear.
It's cute. I like her.